Welcome back to our journey through the Gospel of Mark. Today, we're diving into chapter 6, verses 21 through 44. This section is packed with action, showing Jesus' power and compassion in two very different, yet connected, events: the tragic death of John the Baptist and the miraculous feeding of the 5,000. Let's explore these powerful stories and see what lessons they hold for us today. Mark 6, verse 21 reads, "Finally, a convenient day came. Herod on his birthday gave a banquet for his nobles, the military commanders, and the leading men of Galilee." This verse sets the stage for a dark turn of events. The convenient day isn't a happy occasion, but an opportunity for evil. Herod's birthday party gathers the powerful and influential, creating a public setting where pride and rash promises will have deadly consequences. Verse 22 continues, "When the daughter of Herodias came in and danced, she pleased Herod and his dinner guests. The king said to the girl, 'Ask me for anything you want, and I'll give it to you.' In a moment of indulgence, Herod is captivated by his stepdaughter's dance. This public display of pleasure leads him to make an extravagant and foolish oath, showing how easily worldly desires can cloud our judgment and lead us down a dangerous path. In verse 23, Herod doubles down on his promise, and he promised her with an oath, 'Whatever you ask I will give you, up to half my kingdom.' Herod's pride is on full display here. In front of his important guests, he makes an unbreakable vow, motivated by a desire to look generous and powerful. This oath, sworn in a moment of weakness, will trap him and lead to an irreversible, tragic outcome. Verses 24 and 25 say, "She went out and said to her mother, 'What shall I ask for?' 'The head of John the Baptist,' she answered. At once the girl hurried into the king with the request, 'I want you to give me right now the head of John the Baptist on a platter.' The girl, likely influenced by her mother's long-held grudge against John, becomes a pawn in a scheme of revenge. Herodias sees her chance to eliminate the man who publicly condemned her marriage. The immediacy and gruesomeness of the request highlight the depth of her hatred. Verse 26 reveals Herod's reaction. The king was greatly distressed, but because of his oaths and his dinner guests, he did not want to refuse her. Herod is trapped, knows the request is wrong, and is distressed by it. But his fear of losing face in front of his powerful guests is stronger than his conscience. This is a stark reminder of how peer pressure and pride can lead us to compromise our morals and make devastating choices. Verses 27 and 28 describe the grim conclusion. So he immediately sent an executioner with orders to bring John's head. The man went, beheaded John in the prison, and brought back his head on a platter. He presented it to the girl, and she gave it to her mother. The brutal act is carried out swiftly. A righteous prophet is murdered to satisfy a personal vendetta and save a king's pride. This tragic event shows the extreme consequences of unchecked sin and the cost of speaking truth to power. Verse 29 tells us, "On hearing of this, John's disciples came and took his body and laid it in a tomb. In the midst of this darkness, we see a flicker of loyalty and love." John's disciples honor their teacher by giving him a proper burial. Their actions are a quiet testament to the impact John had on their lives, even in the face of such a horrific end. This also marks a transition in the narrative, as the focus now fully shifts to Jesus and his ministry. Now we move to verse 30. The apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all they had done and taught. After their first missionary journey, the apostles returned to Jesus, their home base. They are eager to share their experiences, the successes and the challenges. This act of reporting back shows their accountability to Jesus and their dependence on him as their leader and guide. It's a beautiful picture of a team debriefing with their master. In verse 31, Jesus shows his care for them. Then, because so many people were coming and going that they did not even have a chance to eat, he said to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." Jesus recognizes the toll that ministry has taken on his disciples. He sees their exhaustion and prioritizes their well-being. He invites them to a place of rest and solitude, teaching us the vital importance of stepping away from the busyness of life to recharge physically, mentally, and spiritually. Verse 32 says, "So they went away by themselves in a boat to a solitary place." They obey Jesus' call to rest. This deliberate act of seeking solitude shows their trust in Jesus' wisdom. They are leaving the crowds and the demands of ministry behind, however briefly, to be alone with their Lord. This retreat is not an escape from work, but a necessary preparation for the work yet to come. But their rest is short-lived. As we see in verse 33, but many who saw them leaving recognized them and ran on foot from all the towns and got there ahead of them. The crowds are persistent. Their hunger for what Jesus offers is so great that they are willing to go to great lengths, even outrunning the boat, just to be near him. This highlights the immense need and spiritual desperation of the people at that time. Verse 34 shows Jesus' incredible reaction. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. Instead of being annoyed that his rest was interrupted, Jesus is moved with compassion. He sees their spiritual lostness and immediately responds to their deepest need by teaching them. For Jesus, people always come first. His heart is for the lost and the wandering. In verse 37, Jesus challenges them, but he answered, "You give them something to eat." They said to him, "That would take more than half a year's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat?" Jesus turns the problem back to the disciples, inviting them to be part of the solution. Their response is one of shock and disbelief. They immediately calculate the cost and see only impossibility. They are thinking in terms of their limited resources, not Jesus' limitless power. Verse 38 shows Jesus taking the next step. "How many loaves do you have?" he asked. "Go and see." When they found out, they said, 5 and a fish. Jesus doesn't work from nothing. He asks them to bring what they have, no matter how small it seems. This simple inventory, 5 loaves and 2 fishes, ridiculously inadequate for a crowd of thousands. But it's the starting point for a miracle. Jesus teaches us to offer our small, insufficient resources to him, trusting that he can multiply them. Verses 39 and 40. Jesus brings order to the chaos. Then Jesus directed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass. So they sat down in groups of hundreds and 50s. Before the miracle, Jesus organizes the crowd. This isn't just for efficiency, it turns a chaotic mob into an expectant community. This simple act of obedience, getting everyone to sit down in orderly groups, prepares them to receive the blessing that is about to come. Verse 41 is the moment of the miracle. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to his disciples to distribute to the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. Here we see the pattern. Jesus takes what is offered, blesses it, breaks it, and gives it to his disciples to distribute. He looks to his Father in heaven, acknowledging the source of all provision. This is a powerful picture of how God's abundance flows through Jesus to meet our needs. The result is in verse 42. They all ate and were satisfied. The miracle is not just a little snack for everyone. It is a feast. Every single person, thousands of them, ate until they were completely full. No one was left hungry. This emphasizes the sheer scale of the miracle and the abundance of God's provision. When Jesus meets a need, he does it completely and generously. Finally, verses 43 and 44 show the incredible leftovers. And the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces of bread and fish. The number of the men who had eaten was 5,000. Not only was everyone fed, but there was more left over than what they started with. The 12 baskets of leftovers, perhaps one for each disciple, served as undeniable proof of the miracle. Like the number 5,000 men, not even counting women and children, drives home the immense scale of what Jesus had just done. He took a little boy's lunch and fed a small army with plenty to spare. Thank you for joining our Bible study today. I pray that this exploration of Mark's gospel has strengthened your faith and brought you closer to God. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. Look forward to seeing you next time as we continue our walk through the scriptures. God bless.